Hello, welcome to Daramola Talk Finance. And in today's video, I will be talking to you about pensions and all you need to know about pensions. Now, I'm sure you may have heard about pension, or probably you've not heard about pension, but I will do my best to explain to you what pension is, the types of pensions, and but a little disclaimer: I will be speaking in terms of the United Kingdom. This is where I'm based, and but it's somewhat related if you're in America, Australia, Canada. It's somewhat related. There are just little tricks and differences there, but you should do well to check with your country. But listen to this video so you have an idea of what this is, so you can be able to understand when you're researching in terms of your own country. So pensions, we have different kinds of pension, but pension, generally speaking, is more like a contribution you make so that when you retire, there's an amount of money that comes to you monthly to cater for your expenses and for your needs. When you retire, some people have different age in different countries, but averagely about 55, 65, and some countries are also planning on extending it further to maybe 68 or something like that. But that's the retirement age. So if you know the age you are in now, you want to start calculating how much do you have left to retirement and what do you have in terms of your pension pot or your pension savings that will cater for your needs when you retire, right? So you know that this is an important topic that we need to talk about: pension and what pension is. Is it necessary or is it important? It depends on your constraint, it depends on your need. But I think pension is very, very important, especially if you are working for an organization. Pension is very, very important. So we have private pension, we also have state pension. But let me talk about the state pension. The state pension is like what we call the national insurance. And I think in America it's called Social Security. That's what it's called. Now, the state pension is an amount that you pay to the government, or the government takes from you for the purpose of when you retire. That's that amount, I think. And it's a function of different categories. So the national insurance is a function of different categories. First is based on what you earn. It's like pay as you earn. So if you earn this threshold, which is called classes, so they have class 1, class 2, class 3, and class 4. So if you earn a particular amount of range of salary or income, there's a percentage of tax you pay. But mostly it's around 8% national insurance for people in class 1. Class 1 categories are people like that are working in an organization. So you pay national insurance, especially if your salary is from above, I think from 1,000 to or thereabouts. If you're receiving from 1,000 to, for clarity's sake, 1,200 pounds and above to about 4,000, I think is around 8% tax you pay, national insurance tax you pay. Now, category 2 are people that are self-employed. I'm trying to explain the classes now, sorry. The classes are for people that are self-employed. So if you are self-employed and you're making, I think, less than 6,000 pounds, you may decide not to pay the national insurance tax. You may decide as your choice. Now, if you are in category 3 are people that are trying to cover for gaps. So I will explain myself. So remember I said previously that if you're earning 6,000 pounds and below, self-employed now, 6,000 pounds and below, you may not pay. So now, let's say you now are making significant amount of money, there is a gap because you have not been paying. So that category 3 are for people like that. So you want to cover up those gaps so that when you retire, you have a significant amount of money that you can live on. Then category 4 or class 4, sorry, are for people that are self-employed but are earning above 6,000 pounds to 50,000 pounds. What they pay is 6%. And those that are above 50,000 pounds, what they pay is, I think, is about 2%. So for your country, it varies, but I'm talking about the United Kingdom now. Class 1, class 2, class 3, and class 4. So for class 1, which is national insurance contribution, is about 8% you pay for that. Now you may ask the question that what are the government doing with this national insurance? Percentage of this money goes for NHS contribution, National Health Service contribution. So that's why people say health service is free in the UK, but that's not entirely true though. That's not entirely true. But there are some service that is free, which is a function of the contribution you make for your national insurance. Maternity leave. If you're pregnant and you want to go on maternity leave, you're paid some amount of money while you're not working. So that's the contribution you're paying that is going for your maternity leave. Also, social benefits, disability for those that may not be able to work due to one disability or the other. That money goes to those needs, right? And other form of government expenditure. So your national insurance has your income tax in it, and also have your protection in it in terms of your state pension when you retire. So that's why that's very, very important. So you may want to think, should I pay national insurance? You cannot avoid it. That's because they even take it before they pay you. So you sit on your pay slip, NI, national insurance has been deducted. So it's not something you have control over. But for the person that is self-employed, he has control over that because it's his choice. But of course, you have to pay income tax on your business. If not, the government is going to come for you. So the private pension. So what is the private pension? The private pension is the one your organization decide to do for you. You're working for a private company and they decide to do that for you. So you have your contribution and your employer match up that contribution. In other words, let's assume you're paying 5%, and that 5% is £200. Your employer match that up for you to make it £400. So that's an advantage, right? So you should take advantage of it if your company has that provision for you. Involved in it. Now, a bit of a disclaimer is because you want to know where that pension is going to, who is managing the pension, what pension company are managing it, what are they investing your money in. So your organization should give you details about your pension login and all of that, so you can be able to track your account and see what it is. I'll give you a picture of what it is from, just look above or somewhere. I'm going to give you a picture of how that is, so you know your portfolio, where are they investing your money in. You want to know, and if you're good, you can decide to go out of that plan to manage your money yourself. It may be if you have better efficient way of investing that money. So for those that are not working in a private organization but want to build a private pension, there's something called the self-invested personal pension. It's called SIPP, self-invested personal pension. It's the one you do yourself. So if you are self-employed and you want to have that portfolio or pension, you contribute it personally. Some people also call it small self-administered, I think administered scheme, something like that, SSAS, small self-administered scheme. So it's the one you do by yourself, you just contribute into it. Now, to conclude this whole session is that while we're talking about pension, that's because you want to plan for your future, especially those that are self-employed. You want to plan for your future. So what plan do you have for your future? That's why the pension is very, very important. So if you don't have a pension pot, it's not as if you have an investment. I think you should start looking into that. Very, very important, especially when you are getting to the age of retirement. That is very, very important. So you may ask me the question, should I do a pension or an ISA? To me, I love an ISA. An ISA is good. A pension is also good for the sake that you also don't get taxed, because that money is not taxed. It's until when you start withdrawing from that fund, that's when you are taxed. So your money is working for you because you're not taxed. But for an ISA, you don't get taxed until when it exceeds £20,000. So after £20,000, that's when you start getting taxed on your ISA capital gains profit. You get the variations. Also, there's also a risk involved in pension. I'll be very honest with you. I just talked about pension in my previous video. There's also a risk involved in pension. That's because it's possible that the government can dip into your pension pots. I think Argentina did it in 2008 because of the financial crisis. Some people are going to retire that year and the market is already down. So what did they do? They took out a percentage of the money. I'll put the link above or somewhere. They take a percentage of the money from other people's pension that have maybe longer years to still work, and they pay those that are retiring at that year. In other words, government has taken from your pension pot to pay other people or to do whatever they want to do with it. So that's also a risk, and it's a possibility that that can also still happen again. So, but in an ISA, I don't think that may happen to the ISA account, your ISA savings. But that's just a variation. But it's important that you have a pension, and you can also have an ISA and a pension together. Nothing's bad if you do that. All right, that will be the end for this video. So look at yourself. Do you have an investment? If no, you should look into that pension. Even if you have an investment, you can also look into the pension. Even if you have pension, you can also look into other investment, so you can take advantage of the tax benefits, of the employer's benefits to it, so you can live a better life when you retire. Until next time, guys, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on this channel. Also comment so you boost the notification. Also subscribe. Don't just watch, subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. Thank you very much, and cheers. Always stay green, and bye for now.